Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey here once again with another video on just a bunch of DCU news, there's actually a decent amount of stuff actually came out over the past week or so, which I wasn't expecting. Even like the people that are most positive when it comes to, oh, we'll definitely get news today, or even going, oh, I don't think much is going to come out, and then stuff came out. Look, it's not massive, but it's worth discussing, and it sort of carries on from some of the stuff we talked about previously. So it's worth it. So let's just jump into it. But of course, throughout the video, let me know in the comment section down below your various thoughts on all the stuff we went over. Always curious to read what you guys are thinking, and enjoy the video. Drop a like, takes 2 seconds. So the first thing actually relates to I think the last video, or the second last video I did, I can't remember which one it was. But anyway, it was around the rumors of Ultraman being the villain, or just being in Superman. I was going to say Superman Legacy, but just James Gunn's Superman movie as a whole. We talked about that, and then it was going to be like a clone of Lex Luthor that had been said initially by one scoop and then backed up and sort of like said, oh yeah, this is definitely happening. I've actually seen physical proof, or I haven't seen physical proof, but I've heard of people that have seen it and everything like that. And that grew really massively. So it was always inevitable, I think, that someone would ask James Gunn about it, or James Gunn might talk about it or address this whole thing. And it's interesting, his response. So he's addressed these rumors, and it's not a denial. So he says, as you can see here, the primary protagonist of Superman is, shockingly, Superman. The main villain of Superman is, shockingly, Lex Luthor. I don't know where all the stuff is coming from, that it's something other than this. There are so many stories coming out every day, it's difficult to deal with, and every time I strike something down, I'm giving it attention. So I'll say again, don't believe anything unless you see it here. And why would you want to know everything before the movie comes out anyway? Now, this is him saying that Lex Luthor's the villain, but he's not saying that Ultraman isn't. Now, here's the big thing, is that when there's been other rumors about other things, he said, no, Ultraman's not in the movie, or blah, blah. Like, he hasn't said Ultraman, obviously, but he says, no, that's not happening. That's not in this movie, or with another project, or whatever it is, not just specifically Superman. But he doesn't mention Ultraman here, and he doesn't say, no, they're not in the movie at all. He just says, the main villain of Superman is Lex Luthor. Now, the thing with the rumor that came out with Ultraman is that some were saying it is the main villain, some were just saying that Ultraman's in it and it's created by Lex Luthor. So I don't want to say that this means that this is still in the movie and everything like that, but I think Ultraman's in it. He just doesn't want to deny, but he's just sort of pushing forward that the main villain is Lex Luthor. That's where the main antagonistical side comes in. And if I had to make a prediction, I think Ultraman's just a third act thing, and it's a physical, like, even if it's just for like 15 to 20 minutes of the movie, and it's just a physical thing that Superman can fight, because Superman's not going to fight Lex Luthor unless he has the exosuit, and I don't think that's going to happen. I don't know, I think this is almost like James Gunn confirming Ultraman's in the movie while trying to deny it at the same time. It's weird. But also, along with this, some of the scoopers, not all of them, but just some of them I saw on Twitter, or X, whichever way you're putting it now, they did double down. So they said, no, he can say this all he want. But they've said that since it was first put out there to now, they've seen further proof, with some people saying that they've actually seen the suit and stuff like that for Ultraman. So make of that what you will. It's up to you to decide whether you want to believe it or not, but it's some food for thought if you want to put it. Now, the second thing to talk about is actually in regards to Supergirl. So, we know that Amelia Alcock has been cast as Supergirl. We don't know exactly when this movie is going to film, but we don't know Anna Nagura, is writing the script for it, or has written the script for it. Not too sure if it's a future or past tense that we're going for there, but anyway. But Craig Gillespie is in talks to direct this film. Craig Gillespie is, like Millie Alcock, also Australian, and he did like I, Tonya. He also did Dumb Money, I think, recently. He's done a bunch of other movies as well. So it's an interesting choice, because a lot of people did think that they were going to go for a female director, and even like a lot of the Hollywood outlets were saying that a female director is being eyed. So for it to just go the opposite way and be a guy, it surprised a lot of people, to the point where people say that this isn't true, but it's being reported by the bigger outlets that this is happening. So this is a wait and see. It hasn't been confirmed or denied by James Gunn. This might be something that they try and hold on until Comic-Con maybe, or something. I'm not too sure, but we also don't know when exactly this movie is being filmed. But yeah, Craig Gillespie is reportedly attached. I don't know if there's any sort of connection there between an Australian actress playing Supergirl and then an Australian director directing Supergirl. I'm not too sure. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't, but Yeah, that's what's being reported at this time. Smaller thing, Joker Folio Do, or Joker 2 as most people are just going to call it, has landed an R rating for strong violence, which I guess lines up with the first one, and also brief full nudity. So flip a coin whether it's going to be male or female. Maybe might like one, maybe you'll like both. I don't know, it's up to you. But we should be getting a trailer in like 2 or 3 days from now. I think they're saying April 9th. So depending on when this video goes up, 2, 3, maybe 4 days from now, we'll get a trailer for that. And hopefully they sort of like highlight that this is a musical, because a lot of people are wondering whether they're going to try and hide it that it's a musical, or they're just going to show like, yo, this is a musical, and the trailer really highlights that. So we'll wait and see what happens there. And the final 3 things we're going to talk about is some stuff about future projects, like unnamed as well as named. So the first thing is that James Gunn, through his general social media thing, did confirm that there are more scripts that are ready at DC Studios in addition to Supergirl and Creature Commandos. Of course, Creature Commandos is, finished recording, but they're doing all the animation and stuff, which takes time. And then Supergirl, we know that it sounded like it was done. I don't know if it was actually explicitly said that the script was done, but it sounded like at least it was done to the point where they could start casting and, get hiring directors and everything like that, like get the ball rolling. So a lot of people wondering what these scripts could be. I mean, there's a lot of thoughts that it's, going to be something like not Green Lantern, but Lanterns, that show. We know that Waller's still being written, and that was disrupted by the strike. But then, of course, maybe it's Teen Titans, that movie, which is being written by the same woman, Anna Nagura, that wrote Supergirl. Maybe it's even Swamp Thing. Maybe it could be Batman Brave and the Bold, because Andy Muschietti's been attached to that for a while now. So it could be things like that. Those are the various scripts that are ready, alongside Supergirl and Creature Commandos as well. But if I had to make a guess, I think a lot of them might be like the initial scripts for some of the TV shows they're doing rather than the movie scripts, but it could be a mix of both. James Gunn didn't really lean too much into it. He just says, oh no, there's more stuff. And, maybe keeping them unnamed is a smart thing, because then you get more questions about, okay, is this person showing up in this finished script for Booster Gold or Lanterns or Waller or Batman or whatever it is? So maybe it's smart to keep them unnamed, at least for the time being. But yeah, as I said, I think a lot of this information that's being talked about here we won't learn about for a while. Could be Comic-Con at the earliest, could be towards the end of the year. There are rumors that there might be some sort of like fandom-like thing that they might do, but there's been nothing like a ball rolling in regards to that, so that's just a wait and see. That's just people's, I guess, theories, or I guess hopes and dreams that people are putting out there and making it seem like a rumor. I'm not too sure. But along with that thing about like more scripts being ready, James Gunn did sort of reiterate something that he'd said, I don't know, a while ago, like not a month ago, but like a decent while ago, is that even English? Anyway, a decent while ago, and he said, we won't greenlight a film until we have a finished script we're happy with, and in general, we won't cast a film until the script is finished. This is why some projects are moving faster than anticipated and others are moving more slowly. It's always going to be quality first, no matter what. Now, I like this approach, as long as you're not stalling on something that's meant to be this, important piece to your puzzle of the DCU and your plan there. That's my only thing. Like, for example, with Batman Brave and the Bold, we know that Andy Muschietti's attached. There was rumors that Christina Hodson was writing, but then that was never confirmed, because that was around the time of the writer's strike. But is that the case? And if it isn't the case, then when are we getting a writer for that movie? Because you think you're going to have Batman Brave and the Bold before you do Teen Titans, because you think the Damian Wayne stuff from Batman would lead into Teen Titans. And then you just think you'd want to establish that Batman side of things as well. And then what about Swamp Thing? We know that James Mangold's meant to be attached, but there's nothing coming out about that. But then all of a sudden, Teen Titans has popped up and Supergirl's popped up when, it felt like the ball was rolling slower in regards to those. So that's the only issue there, is that if something gets stagnant, but it's meant to be an important movie, but you can't figure out how to make it to the quality that you want it to be, then do the other movies or the greater universe get affected by it? That's the only big thing around that. And that's a wait and see, because we don't know, because the first movie hasn't even come out. We're still over. Well, not well over, but what, 15? 14 months or something like that away from Superman coming out. So that's a while until that comes out. And even then, like, the closest movie after Superman could maybe be at the end of that year. But I think a lot of people think that we might not get the second movie in the DCU until 2026. And it'll be some of the TV shows that come out in 2025. Obviously, Creature Commandos at the end of this year, but then something like Peacemaker Season 2, maybe Waller, maybe Lanterns, things like that. So that's the wait and see around that situation. But you just hope that, being a bit, not lazy is not the word, but just being a bit like standoffish in regards to just pushing something ahead, even if you don't think it's going to be a 10 out of 10, might affect it. Like, I think most people will be fine getting a mid Swamp Thing movie if it introduced elements that were just going to be better for the greater universe. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I'm not saying a bad Swamp Thing movie, but I'm saying, like, 7.5 or 8 out of 10. Well, that's not mid. That's like good. But anyway, like, I don't know. Whichever way you want to put it, I'm sure people will be fine having a mid movie if it helped the universe rather than delaying it and then the universe is affected story-wise. But also, we don't know how the storyline in this universe is playing out. James Gunn said it's like the most connected and the biggest connected story, but you have to wait and see how that actually plays out. That could all just be very hyperbolic. But yeah, we haven't even seen one element of it yet. We got to wait until, I guess, Creature Commandos in this year, but over a year from now when the first Superman movie comes out. And the final thing to talk about in regards to the DCU, which I guess leads into these upcoming projects, is that Booster Gold will reportedly go into production in 2025, and this is coming from Production Weekly. They are a bit hit or miss in regards to it, because they can just say a date, or say a year. But Booster Gold's one where I feel like you can keep it very disconnected while in the same universe and be very standalone, at least at first. So this seems like one, it wouldn't be too hard to get rolling, just because I think you could release it whenever you want. I don't think it necessarily has to be, you has to be set between Lanterns and Supergirl or whatever it is. I think you can just release it whenever, because I think it'd be fairly standalone, but you can also reference the universe. But obviously they still want Superman to be that first, like, proper live action thing, so obviously you're not going to get Booster Gold before that. But it wouldn't surprise me if Booster Gold could potentially be like the first TV show after Peacemaker, live action wise, after Peacemaker season 2. So we'll have Superman, Peacemaker season 2, and then maybe Booster Gold. But then again, there might be like a movie like Supergirl that comes in between those. I don't know, but Booster Gold's one of the ones I'm looking forward to the most, just because of how you could portray that character and his story and different elements and stuff, and also play it into the larger universe. So I'm very much looking forward to that one. So any news around that is going to pique my interest. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. For you to be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show support. Let me know in the comment section down below your various thoughts and everything we went over. Always curious to read what you guys are thinking. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.